want to say something about Iran. I grew up in Forest Hills, Queens. My father is a rabbi of a synagogue that consisted mostly of Iranian Jews. I grew up with Iranian Jews. Man Farsi beladam. Merci Chuba. I can speak a little bit of Farsi. Probably the most Farsi that any Hasidic rabbi you're ever going to meet speaks. And we're actually doing a Farsi night at Yale we're finding all the Iranians, and we're having a Gourmet Zabzi night, and I'm going to make the Gourmet Zabzi. And yes, I make the best Gourmet Zabzi in New Haven. Down pat, we're having a competition. We'll see. Okay. And so the cooking channel can come see who makes better Gourmet Zabzi. Second generation of Iranian Jews or Hasidic rabbis from Forest Hills. Anyway. But I do remember distinctly waking up in the middle of the night in 1978 when I was 3 years old. My father returned from Iran. It's the only thing I remember being a 3-year-old. I remember him bringing me back pajamas. It was Iranian pajamas that were made in Iran. And it was his gift. My father was a rabbi. He was a school teacher. He didn't have a lot of money, but he wanted to buy every one of us something. And over the last 40 years, I have met hundreds, as Toby mentioned, of people that are in this country today with first, second, and third generation Iranian American Jews today who were saved because my father went to Iran in 1978 and arranged for visas to be given to college students to come here. And I spent my summers with them in the Catskill Mountains because for 2 years until their parents were able to come, as you know, they had to be housed and fed and taken care of. It's a long story. My father wrote a book about it, and hopefully we'll have you do a talk with my father, which we've spoken about before. A Hasidic rabbi in Brooklyn, the Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory, the Rebbe who inspired my life, sends one of his disciples, my father, from Queens to Iran in 1978 to save Iranian Jews. Not Russian Jews, not Ethiopian Jews, not European Jews after the Holocaust, Iranian Jews. It's an interesting story. My father wrote the book. It's inspired me my entire life. So I spend Saturday nights at home, and I get on the phone every Saturday night, and I call a rabbi in Detroit, Michigan, whose name is Rabbi Levi Shemtov, who is another Chabad rabbi who founded the Friendship Circle, which I'm assuming many of you know, which has over 100 centers around the world, which helps children of children and adults of special needs. It's a national and international organization. He founded it out of Detroit, and he and his wife have turned it into an international organization. We spend Saturday nights, every Saturday night, almost every single Saturday night over the last 2 years, reading correspondence of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. His letters, not his public talks, not his interaction on film, but his letters that he wrote. And I wasn't going to say really much tonight, but this Saturday night, the last letter we read, now this is a book, so it's volume 8, we finished volume 9, we're going backwards because he's got other scheduled classes that he does with other people, and this is volume 8 of approximately 30 volumes of letters that are published, and then there's probably tens of more that have not been published. So we opened up a letter, and lo and behold, the last letter we read together this week was to his grandfather, my friend Rabbi Levi Shemtov from Detroit. His father was Rabbi Mendel Shemtov of blessed memory, and his father was Rabbi Ben Sion Shemtov, who was a big chassid in the Chabad movement. And the Rebbe here writes him a letter, and I said, Levi, we're good. It was 11 o'clock at night already, Saturday night. I've got to get to the casino. Let's finish. And I said, let's finish with this because this is what I need. I need this for Monday with Bret and Roya. So it's Baruch Hashem Tesh Shvat Tavshin Yadalad. The Rebbe says, "Blessed be God." It's the 9th of Shvat, 1954. He's writing this letter to Rabbi Ben Sion Shemtov, Rabbi Chassid, Israel Kimnach, all the titles. Marina Ben Sion, Shalom Abracha, blessed and peace. Ma'asher Nikabalas V'chtav Mechavav. Tevis Udal Shvat. Rebbe always noted when he received his letter. It was always pretty rapid to getting back to people. And when he did get back to people, he apologized. He says, I'm really glad to have received your letter from the 26th day of Shvat and the 4th of Shvat. 2 letters. Ulapella, Shekanira Meruch Michtaven Nafal Baruche. He says, the Rebbe says, I'm very surprised that you're depressed, that you're down, that you're a little bit morose, you're a little disappointed, or you don't have energy. Nafal Barucha, your spirit is down. That there are people that are mocking the work of Lubavitch. So this is a Rebbe talking to his chassid about the work of Lubavitch. And the Rebbe's trying to, boost him. The Rebbe's going to boost him. So the Rebbe says, why are you down? They've been mocking us Jews, since the days of Moses. Those of us that are committed to fulfill our mission, to bring light to our surroundings, ultimately will be victorious. As my father-in-law, the Rebbe speaking of his father-in-law, the sixth Rebbe said, As for them emes veren alle battle. In Yiddish, as for an emes veren alle battle, that in front of truth, all is null. It dissipates. In front of truth, everything disappears. But the Rebbe was very smart, and he says, why sometimes does it take longer than we'd like for those who face truth and hold lies to become null? The answer is that first of all, we have to thank God that slowly the other side is weakening. Slowly the other side is weakening. And the halamas vasterim, the concealment, the hiddenness of that weakening is not always revealed right away. But they're weakening. And therefore the battle against what we stand for will ultimately go away. And the fact that people speak otherwise, we're at a battle. This, whatever the challenge was, you don't know what he wrote the Rebbe. And why is there still a major opposition? So the Rebbe says, to them will come what comes to them. Va'anan, but us, we. Pale di imama anan. We are pale di imama. We are those that are going to toil. Pale di imama means we are the laborers of the day. We are the laborers of the day. And as the great Tzemach Tzedek said, Machen lichtig. What is our work? To bring light. And therefore, there is no time for war because it is our job to build. So I want to get very personal and very blunt. We're living in very precarious times. And to you, Bret, I know we're on camera, but we're off record. You are walking a very tightrope right now at the New York Times. I won't get into it. We all know the Times because we all read the Times. You're walking a tightrope. And there are times that you are going to have to ask yourself when you walk out of that office, as some of the people in this room have done, and others, what am I doing? Where am I? Where's the paper? What are my views? What do I believe? And when you walk out to the elevator, I can promise you and assure you that the editors are saying the same thing. I've worked with Jim Dow, I've worked with Trish Hall, I've worked with Barry Weiss, I remember you at the Journal, I've been back and forth at the op-ed page, I know Ed Rothstein, the list is very long. You're going to walk into the elevator and scratch your head, and you're going to walk into the elevator and they're going to scratch their head. And it's moments like that, as for me personally, that the Rebbe tells us that Anan Pal Yimam Anan, we have to bring light and truth. So what book can I give you? I can't give you a book. You're the author. You're the voice of truth. So I brought you something else. I asked you what your Hebrew name is, and you told me your Hebrew name is Ariel. Ariel is the Lion of God. The first opening verse of the Code of Jewish Law says, Yehuda ben Tema Eimra v'az kanam v'kal kanasha retzka tzvi v'giva kari lasas u'tzen avicha shabashamayim. Yehuda ben Tema says that when a Jew wakes up in the morning, he has to be az kanamr, mighty like a leopard, v'kal kanesher, and light like an eagle, rutz katzvi, swift like a deer, v'gibar ka'ari, and mighty like a lion. Ariel, your name is Ariel, the Lion of God. I had a discussion with a zoologist in the School of Environmental Studies 3 weeks ago on Friday night at our table at Shabtai. And I said, what's stronger, the tiger or the lion? What's the answer?
The lion, obviously.
What's the answer? Who's bigger, the tiger or the lion? Well, your phones are off. You can Google it when you get down to the lobby at 10 o'clock. The answer is that there are actually a number of tigers that are larger and more powerful than the lion. Hence the question that bothered me. Why does Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema say that a Jew should wake up in the morning and be mighty like the lion? There was a rabbi who lived in the 1600s in Lvov. We're reading about Lvov, Lemberg, the city of lions. That's what it's translated as. And he's the first commentator on the Code of Jewish Law. And in the first commentary, the first verse of the Code of Jewish Law, quoting this Mishnah from the 2nd century of being mighty like a lion, the Taz, who lived in the city of lions, says, he doesn't talk about the tiger. He doesn't even ask the question that I'm asking, but he answers it. He says, She'enim mefachid, because the lion is not afraid of any other creature. Even if the lion confronts the tiger that's heavier and stronger and more powerful, the lion is the king of the animal kingdom, because strength is here. And strength is here. And on that note, I want to give you a gift. And you may have a pair of tefillin. You have a pair of tefillin? You do. I'm going to give you another pair of tefillin, because this is my gift to you, a pair of tefillin. And it says in Hebrew, Ariel Stephens. Why tefillin? Tefillin is what has kept the Jewish male, I know we're speaking about women tonight, it is the power of the Jewish man. The Torah tells us, it's Deuteronomy. I found it actually on a Christian website today because I was looking for the verse and they seem to come up first. But I checked in the Chumash. I think it's Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy, the Torah says, V'ro kalami ha'aretz ki shem Hashem nikra lecha v'yoru mimeka, that all the nations of the world, V'ro kalami ha'aretz ki shem Hashem nikra lecha, all the nations of the world will see that the name of God is upon you. Moses tells the Jewish people before they come to the land. And then the verse says, v'yoru mimeka, and they will fear you. When the world knows and sees that we carry truth, and we carry courage, and we're fearless, they will fear us. And the Talmud comments on this verse, that the verse that says that the world will see God upon us and fear us, Elu tefillin shebereish, what is our ammunition? Our tefillin. And what do we do with our tefillin? Every day, we put them on our hand, and we put them on our head, because our hand is next to our heart, and our head is on top of our brain. We're all skeptics, all of us. Put a piece of leather with parchment that talks about the oneness of God on my hand and on my head every day and say a prayer. It's primitive. It's, what do you say, 12th century? It's 2000 BC. Yes, because at those moments, when we have to face the courage to the world, we must connect with something that is greater than ourselves. That is the magic of the Jewish people. That the nations of the world will see that God is upon you, and they will fear you. This this is tefillin that we put on every day, whether we understand it, whether we perceive it, conceive it, even have a relationship or feel any spirituality about it, because we commit our heart and our mind to something greater than ourselves. And then, Bret, you'll conquer truth at levels that even you and your agents and your publishers and your biggest fans cannot even imagine, because it will come from a higher place. Roya has shown us the way. Roya will continue to show us the way. Roya will fight until the people of Iran are liberated. God willing, one day my children will say that we in this room did something tonight and will continue to do something. Maybe we're not getting on a plane and flying there because we can't, but we're going to do something. When we leave here, we're going to call a senator, a congressman, the CEO of the company we work for, or the people around us, and we're going to do something. We're going to connect with truth. We're going to connect with powers that are greater than ourselves, and we're going to bring liberation to the people of Iran, to all people, to all nations, because we are Mimeka, because we fear something that is greater than ourselves. So I just want to say thank you very, very, very much to everybody. Thank you, God, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. This is, in place of a book, it's a thing. It's another pair of tefillin, and it has your name on it. Ariel Stephens, the lion of the Jewish people.